We waited nearly 4 years between seasons 1 and 2. A lot of people switched to the manga. Then, when we finally got the anime, we find out it's only 12 episodes. Was it worth the wait? Yes, absolutely. Season 2 was well worth the wait. I loved it so much. I might go as far to say it was better than Season 1. It answered a lot of questions that we had, but created so many more. Like, there's so much stuff that I cannot wait for Season 3 to get here to find out. Just within this 12 episode span, we found out the identity of the Colossal Titan, the identity of the Armored Titan, and the identity of a new Titan that we didn't even know. I had no idea Ymir was a Titan. There was so much going on in this season, it's kind of hard for me to know where to start with this. To me, it seemed like this season spent a lot of time revolving around Berthold and Reiner, honestly. I actually kind of suspected Reiner was the Armored Titan, but Berthold, I had no idea he was the Colossal Titan. I guess I should have figured it out because him and Reiner have been like this from the beginning, and every time we saw the Armored Titan, it was just after we saw the Colossal Titan. Even though we now know that they're Titans, we honestly don't have a lot of idea why they've done what they've done. It's given us a little bit into their backstory and kind of some explanation, but honestly, we have no idea their motives or anything. Reiner kept speaking to Erin when they were in the trees about being a warrior and a soldier, and I'm really interested to see what he's talking about per se when he says he's a warrior. Is he just referring to being the Armored Titan, or is it something else? We kept getting flashbacks to Ymir eating their companion, the guy that saved Reiner from her back however long ago that was. I'm really interested to see what the connection there is and who that other guy was, if he was someone important or if they were just using him to sacrifice to connect Reiner and Berthold to Ymir. Ymir is another character that got a lot of limelight in this season, and I gotta say, I really liked her development. In the first season, she kind of like hung in the back and was not really that important to me. I always liked Christa more than her, but I did pay close attention to the interaction between the two. Now seeing, first of all, she's a Titan, and secondly, getting some of her backstory, very interesting stuff going on there. The whole stuff, I think it said somewhere that she's like very old, like spent like 60 years outside of the wall, I think it said. Really interested to see, first of all, like how it showed her when she was a child getting adopted by that cult or whatever, and then they like hailed her as a queen or like someone of high importance. I'm really interested to see what really was going on there and what made her decide to become a scout. Christa / Historia, I guess. I really liked her character in Season 1, but she has really developed into a nice character in this season. She stands on her own, and she definitely appears to be more than what she was from the beginning. I mean, obviously now we know that she's some kind of royalty, but she's like not as timid and scared as she seemed to be in the first one. I remember when they first decided to join the Scouts, she was like crying and stuff like that. Now she's one of the most fearless people on the cast, like charging in to save Ymir, and she did a lot of good stuff. I think she got her first kill when they were doing the rescue for Erin. I really like the development going on there. With her and Reiner, see, back in Season 1, I was starting to think Reiner was the Armored Titan. But then the episode where he cuts out of the female Titan's hand, I was like, alright, that's definitely him. But then later, Christa comes back with a horse for all of them to ride. And when they all see her, like Jean and Reiner and Armin, they were all like an angel. And Reiner said something along the lines of, she'll be my wife one day. And I was just thinking, like, if he's a Titan, then how's he planning to marry somebody? But now that like I kind of see like he doesn't know exactly everything that's going on, it kind of makes a little bit more sense. He's still a Titan, but he's a human too, and like it seems like he's having inner conflict like within himself. I really want to see like what their motives are and why they decided to tear down the wall in the first place. Erin was pretty great in this season too. I don't necessarily know if I liked him better in Season 1 or Season 2. Mainly because I feel like he got a lot more action in season 1. Much like Levi. Like Levi got tons of great scenes in season 1. And my only complaint with season 2 is we didn't get hardly any Levi and none of him fighting whatsoever. He was sidelined the whole season with that injury that he suffered at the end of season 1. And I cannot wait to see Levi get back into the action. Levi is a total badass. What season 2 lacked with Levi, we got so much with Erwin. I really liked him in season 1 with all his strategy and his ability to see the bigger picture. I really liked Dot Pixis and his interaction with Erwin, and I really liked that he was able to sacrifice his men for the greater good of mankind. He was getting tons of heat from some of his higher ups, and he continued to push forward and fight for what he actually believed in. But season 2, Erwin was a total badass. First of all, the last 2 episodes especially, when he's charging into battle and that Titan just hacks off his arm and he's just getting pulled away and he's just charge. He's a savage. He might be up there past Levi for me now. I might like Erwin past Levi. And then at the very end of season 2, when you see him with the beard looking all rugged and he's missing his arm. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the last episode of season 2. But when Erwin's sitting in his bed and Levi says something along the lines of to think that we were killing people this whole time, and he gets that smirk on his face, I'm really interested to see what that's all about. Erwin's got a lot going on, and we really haven't got that much into depth with Erwin. We don't know any of his backstory. We don't know his motives or why he fights the Titans. I'm really interested to see what he's got going on there. Then to continue with that last episode, the very last shot when we see the Beast Titan way out on the wall and it zooms in and there's a man standing on the Beast Titan's shoulder. Super hyped. The Beast Titan I thought was a badass this whole season. First of all, he can talk. Who the hell saw that coming? That is crazy. And I have no idea who he could be. My prediction is he's a Titan straight up. He's not a human being. Put me on record as saying that, but I feel like he might be the original Titan. He seems to be able to control them somewhat, and also he's very intelligent. He can actually speak with us and communicate, and seems to strategically place Titans where he needs them. It seems like him or the guy on his shoulders, those two, seem like they're the one actually pushing the assault with the Titans. Actually, the main bad guys, if you will, the antagonists. I was a little disappointed to see we didn't get any Annie this season. I really liked Annie in season 1, and then I knew very early on that she was the female Titan. But even still, I really liked her character. Her just her calm, quiet demeanor mixed in with just being a total badass and very tough and fighting. I really like Annie, and I was kind of let down to not see anything to do with her this season. We didn't get anything to do with how she became a Titan or why or anything like that. But not only that, we didn't get to see her develop at all, or even I figured we would get some of her getting tortured and investigated, but really we didn't get anything from her other than maybe seeing her once and twice. Mikasa, for the most part, she didn't get really that much development, but she's still a total badass. And bro, it hurt seeing her get shut down in the very last episode by Erin, totally friend zone. It hurt to see that, but also I guess they're going to try to continue to build that up, but they'll end up together eventually. If not, then I'll be severely let down. Getting back to Erin, though, it seemed like he mirrored himself in this season compared to season 1. I knew in season 1 he was just starting to kind of get a feel for his Titan abilities. He still can't control them. I know in the very last episode he was trying to bite himself to turn into a Titan to fight the Smiling Titan, I guess it's called. And he still can't. He still cannot turn into a Titan at will. But the Scream, he can control Titans. Obviously, he doesn't know how to do it yet. but the story just keeps getting more and more interesting, and it seems like Erin just keeps becoming more and more important. Like every time it looks, it seems like he's got some other new power or some new purpose. It just makes me want to know what's in that basement even more. We still haven't got to see what's in his father's basement or what he injected to him when he was a child, but there's just so much going on around Erin. He's a fine protagonist, a fine protagonist. Armin, for the most part, I feel like he stayed pretty much the same in this season, except for maybe the fact that he got a little bit more courageous, a little bit more brave. One thing I'll say is I would really like to see him get a little bit more development in this coming season, but we'll see about that. I really hated to see Hans go. Like, as soon as I saw the Titan pick him up, I was just like, we're going to do this again. Erin's going to have to see this again. And, like, part of me, like, thought that he was going to get eaten, but part of me thought that Erin was going to be able to stop him in time, and nope, not so much. This show does not shy away from gore. It does not shy away from killing characters. I just hated to see him go out like that. At the beginning of this season, it touched a little bit on Sasha, who's one of my favorite characters, and Connie. It kind of touched on their backstory, and I'm really interested to see if Season 3 does what Season 2 did, in the sense of like it explored more of like Reiner and Ymiri and some of the other characters. I really want to see if it touches more on Connie, who I think it will. It showed Connie like how he found out his mother, apparently it's his mom that was the Titan sitting on his house in his village. I'd really like to see Season 3 explore some of the more smaller characters like Connie and Sasha and Jean. I thought like he had a big role in Season 1, and he's been going through a lot of development. I was kind of hoping to get more out of Jean in Season 2. Maybe we'll get some more out of him in Season 3. It seems like Season 1 kind of took place around Erin and Armin and Mikasa, the three main, but this season kind of explored some of the other characters, so I'm really interested to see how they get to show more from like the other characters and if they get them involved, because I mean, unless they're Titans too, I'm really interested to see some of their motives and purpose, and see how they can push the story along and be productive in the grand scheme of things. We've already got confirmation that Season 3 is in 2018, so we don't have to wait so long again. Hopefully we get back to the 24, 25 episode format, but even still, if it stays to 12, as long as we're getting it every other year, I think I can be alright with that. The end of Season 1, there was so many cliffhangers and things unanswered. I think Season 2's cliffhanger was even bigger. I cannot wait to see what's going on with the Beast Titan and the guy who seemingly was on his shoulders. I can't wait to see Levi and Erwin get back into it, Erin and his newfound ability, and then explore some of the other characters. I know Reiner, he's been my favorite from the beginning, and I liked the Armored Titan before I even knew that they were one and the same. So the fact that they are the same being is I'm very happy with it, but I don't want him to be a bad guy per se. Like, now that I know that there's a little bit more going on, like up here, not just he's a bad guy like all along, I'm really interested to see what they do with Reiner and Ymiri. I know she decided to go with them at the end of Season 2. I don't really know why, because everything, her motives up until this point were to protect Christa or Historia, and then it seemed like right at the last minute she decided otherwise. I mean, I guess they kind of had to do that just to put her with the other two Titans. I really want them to be for the side of good, and like, instead of Erin being the only one fighting Titans, we have the Armored Titan, the Colossal Titan, and all of them versus the Beast Titan and possibly some new Titans with extra abilities. I just really cannot wait for Season 3. If you liked what I had to say, go ahead and like it up. If you've got comments regarding Season 2 or your hypotheses on Season 3, go ahead and comment. Subscribe for more to me. Until next time, it's Clutching Nostalgia.